Have you and your board ever asked whether you should visit the workplace? What benefit it would bring if you did? Or is your board currently making site visits and you're wondering whether you're doing it well? Stick around because that's the focus of this video. I'm going to talk about how to build trust and make a deeper connection with those on site so that you get accurate data about what's going on as quickly as possible. Ready to have more confidence in the boardroom and contribute more value to your board? Get ready because Leading with Heart in the Boardroom is coming soon. For more info and free training, head to samanthamagalrick.com/leading with heart. Welcome back. I'm Samantha McGolrick, your boardroom health and safety governance and leadership strategist, educator, and coach. And you are watching the No WTA show, where I help company directors like yourself know what to ask and when to act so that you can lead from the heart and put people first by leading safe and healthy work from the boardroom. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Have you ever questioned whether it's a company director's role to visit the workplace? I mean, isn't that really for executive and management to engage with employees? Well, it's actually a critical step in your governance role for you to visit the workplace to see work as it is done and not necessarily how it is visualized in the boardroom. And it's a great opportunity to truly appreciate the risks in the workplace. And it's your leadership role to engage with employees and visibly demonstrate your interest in the people who work for you. But before you go, I want you to practice your listening skills and be ready to let yourself be a bit vulnerable. Let's get started. As the late Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. He said this was the single most important principle that he learned in the field of interpersonal relations. Covey said most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And in doing so, you may ignore the other person completely. Pretend that you're listening, but you're selectively hearing only certain parts of the conversation. Or you're stuck on something that was said that you completely miss the meaning of what that person was saying. The reason we do this, as found in his research, is because we filter everything we hear through our own life experiences. He refers to this as our autobiography. So we compare what we hear from others to our own experiences. This is where judgment can rear its ugly head. We then decide prematurely what the other person means before he or she finishes communicating. But to truly make someone feel like they have been understood, we should use empathetic listening skills. Now, the essence of empathetic listening is that you fully, deeply understand that person, emotionally as well as intellectually. So when you're conducting a site visit, prime real estate to really hear what workers are saying, how they truly feel about their work, what their challenges are. Do they get a sense of meaning from what they do? Do they feel they contribute or even have an impact on the company's purpose? You need to engage with empathetic listening. For example, when you start a conversation with an employee or contractor on site, you're going to actively turn on your empathetic listening skills. So you're listening with your ears, but you're also, and more importantly, listening with your eyes and with your heart. You listen for feeling, meaning, and behavior. When they're finished talking, you could start your reply like this. Thank you for sharing that with me. Let me see if I understood you correctly. You feel blank. Insert what you heard they are feeling about blank. Insert their issue or opportunity that they have outlined. Give them time to respond, don't jump in. You may need to apply this technique a few times if they feel that you didn't quite understand. So try not to feel silly about that and about asking them to clarify things. The key is for them to feel that you have understood them. Empathetic listening is powerful because instead of projecting your own autobiography and assuming thoughts and feelings, you're actually dealing with the reality inside another person's head and heart. And that's where you get accurate data to work with. Okay, so now that you have listened and you have a good understanding of what that employee or contractor is, where they're coming from, because they've confirmed that you've understood, It's now your opportunity to be understood and to state your point of view. So what does that look like? Well, just like how you wanted them to know that you understood them when you started your response with, "You feel blank." If you want to now be understood, you start with, "I feel blank," and finish with your point of view. For example, you might say, "I feel that I may have some assumptions here that may or may not be true. For example, I assume that the training programs we provide would help with this issue you've raised, but it is a challenge for us to really understand whether the training provided is effective in dealing with this issue. What are your thoughts on that?" You'll note that I ended that comment with asking for their opinion. Try to avoid asking closed questions, such as those that can be answered with a yes or no. Those types of answers don't give you much information. They often confirm your assumptions and biases, and it can be inferred that you're really not that interested in my opinion, or that by disagreeing with you, I'll be seen as argumentative. So it's just much easier to agree with you. Also, note that I'm using "I" in my response because it's more personal, which creates a better connection with the person you're speaking with. If you said, "The board feels," it makes you appear distant and unaccountable. Expressing your challenges will also demonstrate that you're genuinely interested in clarifying your assumptions. You're creating what we call psychological safety, because you're telling that employee or contractor that you don't have all the answers, and you're asking them for their opinion, which encourages them to respond, and you'll be there to listen with empathy. The action of you talking to that employee or contractor about how you feel and your assumptions and challenges is what Brené Brown refers to as leaning into vulnerability. Being vulnerable is about dropping your armor and going to a place, metaphorically, where there are unknowns. In this case, we don't know how the employee or contractor will respond to your questioning or how comfortable you will be to respond to their questions. Will you feel caught off guard? Will you feel shame or incompetent that you don't have the answers to their questions? You're a board member. You should know these things. This is vulnerability. And when we're vulnerable, we experience true enlightenment. Things like love, belonging, and creativity. These give us the opportunity for deeper personal connections. But why is that important to you as a director conducting a site visit? Well, you have very little time on site to get accurate data as to what's really going on. You've got to get behind the curtain that is put up when you visit a site. If you drop your armor, you'll build trust and a deeper connection more quickly than if you use your armor to protect yourself from feeling vulnerable. So in wrapping up, site visits can be a little intimidating. In fairness, you're walking into their domain. There are cultural elements you are likely not aware of, and other nuances that may throw you off your game. But I'm sure you can appreciate that's how most people feel when they have to go into the boardroom to talk to you or present to the board. So isn't it fair that you put yourself out there and engage with the people in your company? In my experience, people aren't shy in asking the board questions when they're on site, and they're not shy in sharing their challenges if you're open to hearing them. So preparing yourself for how you want to listen and respond is good leadership, and being vulnerable will give you deeper insights. As always, I hope this has helped you in your quest to know what to ask and when to act. And because one of the foundational principles of leading safe and healthy work is sharing knowledge across business, industry, and borders, please let this community know in the comments below, what are some of the mindset checks that you've learned along the way that are helpful before visiting a site? If you like this video, do let me know by clicking the thumbs up icon below. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to the show and hit that bell if you want to be notified when I post a new video. More importantly, if you think that others would find similar value from this content, please share it with them on your platform of choice. If you want more great insights into what to ask and when to act, come on over to SamanthaMcGolrick.com and sign up to get email updates, and you'll get instant access to my Director Health and Safety Dashboard, which outlines critical health and safety issues from the governance, business, and regulatory landscapes that should be on every director's radar. Be brave and stay true to your commitment to lead from the heart by putting people first, and I'm confident you will reap the rewards. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ready to have more confidence in the boardroom and contribute more value to your board? Get ready, because Leading with Heart in the Boardroom is coming soon. For more info and free training, head to SamanthaMcGolrick.com/leadingwithheart.